Hey guys, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another raid video. 60th anniversary is here. We have news of the fusion. We actually have now the skills of the champion, as I thought it was going to be an undead hordes champion when we got the sneak peek. We're going to go over and have a look at him because I think he's going to be required for the PvP, your next PvP journey, right? If you're somebody who doesn't have armors and you faced armors in arena, you know the pain. It's basically going to be the same thing. The speed meta, it's gonna be there. So in arena, if you're fast, you'll be able to take your turn, boost up with, let's say, Arbiter, and then go with Fabian and be able to lock out enemies plus decrease the duration of their buffs. So let's have a look at Fabian before we talk about how this is gonna evolve into the PvP situation for many players out there. He's gonna be a pick and ban, of course, for arena, in my opinion. Because, well, it does make sense to do that in arena because he's got the ability to apply decreased turn meter on his A1 and then true fear possibly. All right, true fear possibly if the target's turn meter is fully depleted. That is not very easy with just 10% reduction, but whatever. Might happen, so it might be usable. A2 attacks one enemy, so single target, and then can apply petrification debuff, but it's an attack first. So it can do a weak hit. So petrification is going to be very powerful, can strip the buffs and cause like a stun effect on the enemies. Has a 75% chance of placing true fear debuff for 2 turns on all other enemies who are not under fear or true fear debuff. So you can use this as a way to also apply true fear on enemies and have that as a way to control them, although it's not guaranteed. Okay. Passive effect activates the skill whenever an enemy under fear or true fear debuff successfully uses a skill. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. So this is cool because you will be applying true fear. So this can also be thought of usable in dungeons. So he's not strictly a PvP champion. This can act as a single target use skill where you'll be petrifying one enemy and then the remaining ones will be true feared. And that is still powerful, guys. It's not as strong as a stun, for example, that Armans has, but it's still very powerful, and especially because you can also have the activation of this effect whenever an enemy successfully uses a skill. So this looks quite insane if you think about it. So Spectral Flourish attacks all enemies before attacking, has a 75% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs for three turns. All right, so this is very similar, if you guys remember, to a champion we had added in the past. So it's not going to be Kaja. It's going to be here a company hero, Timid, which I did not go for. But this guy has a decrease in the duration of all enemy buffs by 3 turns, similar to what Marius has also. But this guy, I believe he was before Marius. So this is very powerful against Stoneskin. But I didn't think it was that required. You didn't see many teams with Timid the full. You see Kaja more so than Timid nowadays. But this is still very powerful if you're somebody who's having, you know, a pain with Stoneskin and you don't want to be running a bombs team, which is a way to go against those kind of setups. And you're also increasing the cooldowns of all enemy skills by 3 turns, which is basically like completely locking them out. There's only a couple of champions that have a longer skill cooldown than 3, being locked down by 3. So if you've got like a 5-turn cooldown, then I guess, yeah, that doesn't completely lock you out. But still, it's quite insane. Grants an extra turn if there are no buffs on the enemy team after this attack. So if you completely remove the buffs, then you're also going to get an extra turn. So the thing with removing buffs is that it's not always possible. If you guys ever check out on what the protected buffs do. So I couldn't find it here, but basically protected buffs, guys, cannot be reduced in their duration. So you'll see many teams out there using buffers who are using the protection set, especially 9-piece set nowadays. So that's 75% chance to protect their buffs. And that doesn't include Stoneskin though, but those buffs cannot be reduced by this. So the extra turn is very conditional, and the condition here is on the enemy team. So it's not always that you'll have this skill that's 4 turns cooldown, you know, with the legendary books. You cannot always have this being reduced to 3 turns. So you have that as maybe like a bad thing, but this skill is insane on its own. Even if it didn't have this line at all in the end, it's still an insane skill to have, especially from a champion who will be achievable through a fusion, right? We don't know how difficult that's going to be, but with the free gift that we have right now, we have the free gift going on right now. If we check on the shop, we're still going to get lots of stuff, right? I think I got a primal. I think I got a sacred. Where the heck is it? So many packs. Is it in the limited? Yeah, there it is. Okay. So we're still going to get a primal, 2 voids, and a legendary book. So quite a good gift, especially for players out there who were lacking shards. So if you think about all of this reward, this is a solid reward of about $50 worth of stuff. And I mean, especially if you're free to play, that's great. So whenever an enemy is revived, places a true fear debuff on that enemy for 2 turns. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, this effect will only activate once. Still, this is insane. Against revival teams, you true fear debuff them. You can also probably do this against Wukong. That is not pretty clear. If Wukong's revival is a revival in the sense of he revives himself, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but true fearing Wukong is pretty nice. Would be pretty nice. Removes any stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, fear, true fear, and petrification debuffs from the champion before their start of the turn. So this is a passive with no cooldown that makes this champion uncontrollable except for sheep, stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, fear, true fear, petrification. Insane, guys. I'm not sure they skipped any control. I mean, don't think they have, except sheep, of course. I don't think they have. And then he's got an aura for boosting ally speed in all battles by 19%. So he's usable in the siege also. So having that in mind, this guy Fabian is a must-have. Regardless of whether you think you're going to be playing arena or you like arena, you guys have to go for this guy. I'm not saying go spend money to get this champion. Obviously, guys, if you're not comfortable with spending a game, come on, right? But if you're somebody who's got the resources, who's got the shards, and it's just a matter of effort and proper management of time spent within the game, and also using your shards wisely, doing all of the events, champion training, whatever they send at us, which is probably going to be what we had for the past 6 years. Nothing has changed, basically. So that in mind, gotta go with it, guys, and get this fusion. It's going to be Arman's like in terms of power. Looks so good as a champion, and I would say it's your way to push an arena, because if somebody else has him, you don't. You're going to have a bad time with this one. Unless you're much faster than them and you've got other stuff already working for you, you should be okay. It's not like he's a counter for Arman's, but he is, in my opinion, better than Arman's at the moment, because Arman's lacks in the sense of he's facing a stone skin team. He can't control them in Terminator. So he can do the sheep on them and try to remove buffs. Arman's is still good on his own. Fantastic that he can apply sheep on a target. Not saying he's better or Arman's 2.0, as I said, but he is very, very strong. This guy is going to be very, very strong for arena, and will have his place for sure in different teams and showcases. So have that in mind, guys. Fabian, Lord Entertainer. Yeah. I'm definitely going for this guy. I do have some resources saved, like 3 sacreds, 3 voids. Nothing crazy, but this is enough, guys. This is, for the most part, this should be enough to finish the fusion. In terms of shards, I do have some gems. Those can be used for like summons, but I don't think I'm gonna be in a bad position to finish the fusion, even if it's difficult with the summoning sessions. We'll see. I mean, for the duration of about 2 weeks, let's say, that the fusion is gonna go for, how difficult is that gonna be? In terms of if you're somebody who's doing clown balls every single day, how difficult is that going to be finishing this like every single day, doing at least 3 difficulties, okay, and getting shards? You should be able to stack up some rewards and finish off the fusion through using the shard. So have that in mind, guys. Fabian, go for it, I say. And enjoy the game. Hopefully we get some more freebies, maybe some more promo codes. That should be cool. All right. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one. See ya.